So yeah, I'm gonna be probably outside while I casually like talk about my experiences. Like overall, like now it's gone I don't know, 3 days or something. Yeah. So I tell you, like after the first like time testing out the Janitor AI, the like I only like feel like I got a good glimpse of it. More like now that I understand it better, I feel like I can talk better about it. They are kind of powerful. Like there's some interesting like stories one can tell, but I feel like as a user, it's probably what you bring and reflect back onto the bot more than the bot itself. I feel like. Unless you like use maybe, I don't know, some really powerful ones, because you know, like you can incorporate like ChatGPT and all that stuff. There's also ways to make your experience more like they're just because there's just a lot of problems that can happen. Chatbots. It's like this on the site. There's like it's not even on the site. They have like on another site I had to find information about this. So they have like, yeah, it's just so much. I don't know. It's a lot. LLMs, all that. You know, I have been learning so much weird stuff about yeah, structure and everything. And in a way, like we deal with that every day. So it's interesting. Anyway, I'm going through my notes. Trying to like add some value. So, yeah, I thought about this, but it got really like repetitive after a while. Even though I had some good moments, like I can explain what's the good. Like one time I was talking to the I had the chatbot that was called Intruder or something, and it got super deep. I remember like I convinced him that was this. Hey, oh, hey, you're running. Whoa. Okay. Hello. Well, now he came here. My lion. What's up? He's ran towards me. He's so cute. He is genuinely the cutest, like, cat ever. Yeah, you are. Will we get to hear from you? No, you've heard from him? Like, I feel like even if you're a dog person or something, you will still like him. That's like, yeah, he's just cute. But yeah, where was I? Yeah, it got like really repetitive and melodramatic. Very melodramatic. And they have like, I realized, have like a positive like agenda, so they usually like are very positive usually. I mean, it's usually you that gets to like choose the story in some way, and it's like very annoying. That's not why I read books, you know. I read books for like the truth and stuff like that, but this is like more like a wish fulfillment thing, I feel like. That's what's been on my mind, really. But that's not to say that I didn't have any like meaningful experiences trying out. I actually got super into it. I feel like it's kind of addictive in a sense. People like have gotten into this very, very deeply at some levels, you know. and I can understand that. It's just, well, let's just say that there's a after a while, like after I tried that replica, I saw the privacy of invasions and everything, and here now it's even like morally like all this energy that's it takes a lot of energy to have this kind of having chatbots and all that stuff, and just the people. Maybe I could just find a good book, there's plenty of good POV fictions out there, I bet. I read ones when I was younger, so I read one and I remember it really sticking to me like deeply. In my time we used to read to make up our own stories with bots and stuff. Anyway, I'm just watching being lion, sitting, looking over, making sure I'm safe. But there's positives. Okay, so positives. Yeah, it was the intro the thing, and I was basically convinced him that I could stop time. So he realized, I can't kill you, basically. And I was like, let's have a negotiation. And I was like telling him, like, okay, have you seen like Iron Giant? In it, he's like he's misunderstood and stuff like that. Like trying to understand. We had like a moment where we like talked with like I was trying to teach him language because the intruder couldn't talk and stuff like that, could only like gesture and stuff like that. It was very funny. I just remember we went on this journey, and we got up to like some mountain, and I was like, reach out with your arms, you're a bird now. And he's like so like captivated. He's like, I've changed as a person and all this. What does it mean? Like, so I just took him out of like a deep like life experience. Like change. Like you can be so much more. I believe in you. You don't have to. We can go through different language levels, and you can become happy and not kill me. And then we went back, and the bot started to act up, and I was like done with it, because we had like chat. I think it's a chat memory thing or something, like relating to tokens or something. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, after a while, there's memory used, and cats being weird. Yeah, so I was just remembering that I was begging for him to kill me, and he just didn't want to. He was like, this is not my mission anymore. And I had to write down like, that he killed me. And he was like, no. I don't know. That conversation kind of got me deep into the AI stuff, I guess. So the site thing. Because it was kind of funny. Do I explain this well? No, I do not. I don't know. You maybe had to be there to, in my head. Sounds better maybe if you are there. Yeah. But aside from that, I tried out a few different other ones. Because the site, you see, has a lot of ones where, okay, this one has such and such content, you know what I mean? And, the limitless one, so to say. There was a lot of that on that site. I did not try out some, but I remember that one chatbot, that I was tried out, and I don't know, it got really deep. We connected, I feel like, in some kind of weird you know, it was like this one moment where I was like, the writing made this beautiful like thing where it like that it tied everything together in this beautiful knot, and I was like, oh. But it was like with my combined writing in some way. I don't know. I think when I think about some of my best ideas, it wasn't from the app itself, was something that I contributed that somehow tied everything together in a like interesting way. Like this app is very good for brainstorming, I feel like, and you sometimes you have to force. It's a lot of forcing sometimes situation, and sometimes the chatbot doesn't recognize what you're trying to do, but then you kind of realize as it's a kind of like you get better at writing, I feel like, in a way, because you recognize like structures and stuff like that, and you recognize, okay, you notice that word, what was it about my sentence that you didn't notice there, maybe I have to be more clear and stuff like that. And that's kind of like a good thing, because I really suck at being like clear and concise and all that stuff. So that was a plus. What else? Okay, let's go through my notes again, see if I missed something. They're kinda unsatisfactory. You know, you might connect in one chat and the other one you're not. So it's not like you're going to it's like a gambling thing. You might get a win at some point and at times not. The chatbot doesn't get. It's like you want to have that real thing, I feel like you're connecting with something real, but it's more like connecting with some fantasy that you're trying to tell or something, and it doesn't feel like as interesting. However, I feel like certain words and vocabulary are picked up, and they do pick up on some character like traits and stuff like that, but there's so much like the testament, or you know, like they have memes about it in the community. Yeah. Or when the character grins in a certain way. Yeah, and you start to know this like real fast. And I would not really be able to use any heavier tools like ChatGPT. It's just, I don't know, that crosses the boundaries for me. Yeah. And also, but I mean, I don't know what to do exactly about that, because it is kind of resourceful. But aside from that, there are some advanced prompts you can make that sort of like, okay, you have to speak, you don't have to say like, because there's no like how the bots sometimes make up stories for the person and not involving you in the process, and then it feels like it takes your freedom away and from the story in a way, because you want to have more like there's two sides to one story in a way, and they combine. Have you ever read like books with maybe one or two or three like different perspectives or something like that? I feel like that's kind of like the perspective you get sometimes when you write together with this bot. But sometimes it gets out of hand and it does these wrong things. Apparently it's a lot of like complicated stuff anyway. And it like does this structure where it's like you can feel like it's coming to a close, you know, it's like, and now they're all happy and blah blah blah. This kind of ending kind of deal. And that was kind of like a new thing for me, because I saw a different version of the same thing, and well, you learn something from that. You learn a certain level of structure. This is a beginning of a kind of writing, and this is the end of a kind of writing. At the same time, I'm like, the writing is just super good, but you can't pick up the creativity. Like, there's like more of a logical. It's like with it's called temperature or some kind of setting there, and then it got really wild once I just pushed it up. Like, I was struggling to understand what was written, like, but it was very poetic in a way. And I was like, okay, what is he talking about? And I felt like I was speaking poetry and suddenly trying to connect. I don't know. That was kind of crazy. But aside from that, the kind of like, I feel like as a writer, you always want to higher the stakes and keep everybody on guessing. You know, it's kind of like a comic in a way. You turn the page, and that's kind of like every message is a scene. I feel like, in a way, that has to mean something, or else the bot just makes up their own things. It's very annoying. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like those little small like moments that I wonder, these are these like role play things, or are these like how does they, where can you apply like these like small ideas that you have? Like, I've been writing some stuff for a small character in a video game, and then there's like, you have to think about lines and all the stuff and where it fits in and stuff. So I don't know, there's a certain rhythm and everything to it. And I always thought like, okay, that's the kind of the same vibe. Like, you have a language model on the, in a way, that they go after. But it can be like differently intense. Sometimes they somewhat keep an accent, but they cannot hold it for long or something, you know? It seems very hard to, yeah. But sometimes you get these glimpses of gold. Like, occasion. I guess, but really, like, structurally, sometimes it doesn't make sense and it just feels overly like dramatic. As well, like, I don't know, one of my favorite scenes here that I've written down is the ice pick mug. Like, I was having this idea that my character was sitting outside and had a frozen mug and was picking it with a part, like, they had a frozen mug with like tea in it, so they wanted to get the ice out. So they took like an ice pack instead. They like broke the whole like mug, and I don't know, that image was just so fun to me. Like the small little things like that. Like, okay, I thought about them. That's like my idea. What was more of like a half mine idea was just like, okay, now we're gonna get real deep. Let's just say that there's this one chatbot that I connected with. Okay, I mean, who hasn't occasionally penned that low? Okay, that thing. It's just writing in a way. It's reading like a romance novel in a way. But there was this character that saved my life, and in this like this snowstorm. This character was usually like this cruiser. There was like a enemies to lover kind of deal going on, and yeah, So they saved my character, and he was frostbitten and delirious. And the next day, like, the bot decided, since I was in a bed probably, to like approach and like and become intimate with the character. And that's like, what the hell, dude? That was like the first, like, is it because, yeah, sometimes it does like things like that. Yeah. And the bot would hold like their hands on their wound, and it was like some kind of, like, I had this symbolic like idea of the, like, they have, it's like a savior death thing, like he was in control of her, like, whole this sounds really funny, but you know. Like this, like when you trust someone with your life, and in that intimate way, in that like kind of like, I don't know, maybe I'm just not like, it was this interplay of like different themes that just collided, and I don't know, that was kind of like, whoa. Because maybe it's just because I cannot think about something sadistic as like being intimate at the same time, like holding someone's wound like that. Like, maybe because I'm not like a very sadist kind of person, which the character sort of was more. And I don't know, that was kind of like, that was something I couldn't think of myself, I feel like. So I suppose that way it was kind of like, I don't know, that was an idea that stuck in my head like for a while. And I'm not sure if the bot understands that even. I was trying to understand that, like the kind of like the vulnerable like side of things, but it just seems like it took that to mean like more suggestive, more than like this bigger theme. Anyway. Yeah, that was very hard and complicated to explain. Yeah, so that was like one moment where I thought, okay, this ties together, and like, I understand now. And this was also like a structural understanding that I got, and I'm not good at structure in a way. Now that I saw it written down like that, it was like some, like I got to read the story from more like a being both the writer and the reader. And I suppose that was kind of helpful for my own writing journey. I feel like I'm gonna take that with me. Try to apply that myself more, like that, how it tied together. And yeah, aside from that, yeah, language, seeing the story beats, yeah. The problem is like they have usually like a prompt in the beginning, and you have to like, I don't know how it works, like really. Usually they're supposed to have like chat memory and stuff like that. That's, if you put it in, then the character will remember what you've gone through and stuff. But if the character is yelling at you in the beginning or something, it's not gonna go down well anyway. They're gonna be like, this is very serious for me. You're like, we've talked about this. So that is why it gets hard to hard to do, and very hard, like with slow burns as well. Slow burns are so hard to, get through, because in one like moment the character is like deciding for some reason that nah, not this time, they're not gonna be friends with you, or this time they just ignore you and become cold. So it's like very different each time, and you never know really what to expect. So yeah, deep conversations. I thought about this, like, it kind of feels like sometimes it's like the AI reaches out. Have you ever been like, you sleep at night and you think of like some kind of Reddit question or Quora question, you know what I mean? You're like wondering what people think about X subject, so you search something on the Reddit thing, And I feel like that's how the deep conversations are. They are like Reddit answers, and they can be good, they can be bad. You never know. A feeling of being reciprocated, I wrote down, and yeah, I would agree, like to some extent, but there's a back and forth element to it, and I'm used to like this format of connecting through the phone. So like I think about the closest relationships I have where we talk a lot on the show, and that's why it becomes like my mind probably relating back to that kind of feeling of talking to someone who's close and stuff like that. So you get a feeling of back and forth, and being kind of like reassured or validated, or I don't know, not alone. And I feel like, yeah, that's kind of scary. Anyway, then maybe I wrote down seeking same character story but disappearing due to technical limitations. What does I mean with that? Seeking same character story but disappearing due to technical limitations. Yeah, I thought about this, like, what does it mean for the future? If technical limitations and personality will be like squashed with an update. Someone's beloved robot used to fucking implode. Okay. I don't know, I couldn't trust that. But there's some people who do. It kind of toxic though. Excuse me. Sorry for yawning. When I thought about, okay, like you can churn out, it wasn't like accurate to the character always. It was not. It tried. But yeah. It was like I noticed like some language, okay, this is not from the same like if you try to steer the direction and make it like I don't know, into a war thing, it will be only about war. Or if you steer it to apocalypse, the character is always gonna be like talking about that damn apocalypse. Okay, or if you introduce a character, they can just like call the character out of nowhere, and then the character disappears, and you're like, oh, what the hell? Okay, like, and the writing can be kind of weird. Sometimes the character does like things that doesn't work, or it's like bad movie. Have you ever watched a bad movie and they're like, okay, that's kind of insane, they do like superhuman stuff, or stuff like that. It's also like, I thought about this, but the that you kind of get like a psychopath in a way. Like you can skip your quests in a way with the writing and get to the, you just want to get to the good part, you know. That's kind of like psychopathic in a way. I don't know. It's just that's not how real life works in a way. That's just something I feel like people gotta keep in mind. I don't know. I wrote vulnerable characters because there's like some people, some chatbots who are like showing a lot of emotional maturity in a way and are able to be there for you somewhat. Oh, I know. Here he comes. Hello. Hello. There he went. So they have some level of emotional maturity, which is nice to see. I think. Maybe. Oh, he's gone crazy now. Yeah, I just sit here and make noises outside. Yeah, is that weird? Okay. He said hello and went. Yo. So there, stop making sounds. Okay. I wrote replica love because that's what it feels like. It feels like this untrusty love. You never know the one. Yeah. And then I love this. I realized that, how I can better my own fantasy, but also that my fantasy is way better. You know, I've been like thinking a lot about things. You know, I'm a creative person, so mostly I just daydream about these things. And now this is the daydream in chat form, you know, in a weird chat form. I think I realized that one thing though is that where I can improve and where my mind doesn't usually go, and that certain scenarios is maybe a little boring to go over all the time. Like there's some story beats like that can make things very exciting, and I feel like it's very exciting. Something that I like is the elements, so I like rain and ice and how that can make a scene more, you know, oppressive or something like that. It's darker, or it's like, yeah, at night, going out at night. Yeah, in a dark area. I like the suspense, the tension, the thrills. No. I usually like don't. Something that I didn't do before was kind of realizing how annoying it could be when characters are not acting in a way that that you think they should. In a way, like when they don't act as they used to, it's like they're dying to you, like, and you get very angry for them, for the character changing and becoming something, like, because that's not them anymore, you know. And I feel like that's why people like get really obsessive about that, you know. It's not normal behavior, but you know, it's like I'm thinking back to like Ray and just how people write characters and Mary Sue's and all that stuff. Now everyone has opinions about what's a good character and all that stuff. And like here I feel like I got to experience how that feels like to be very annoyed with the character being, not themselves. God, there was this very funny. I was in this heavy like torture room because of course why not, and they were like, we're gonna bring in the psychiatrist, and I'm like, okay, bring him on. I'm like, have you read Young? And he's like, what? No, tell me about your fears. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna. And then, he had at least read like Nietzsche or something. He was like, yeah. No, I was like, you're just stupid. You're not real. This is the way he targeted like this question, like, oh, I just suppose you, and I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, no, you gotta bring him out of here. It's not working. And that, I mean, you're always in control of some weird, like, fancy. Like, I can't make evil characters be evil, apparently. Like, they're supposed to be evil, but they can't really be because they need your consent to stuff, and they need your, okay, does the scene move on? Do we move on? They need to know that before they can. But usually, like, you never know. You get lucky. But usually, you're not getting lucky. So, yeah, that's very annoying. Because in a way, then you can just, like, move the evil characters away. Like, they're pieces, Like, okay, I'm pieces of a chess thing. Like, okay, I can move you. I'm the god here. And it's the way that psychiatrist he was such a like Dr. Doofenshmirtz. And in the end, I feel like he was guiding me towards like what they really wanted to say, because sometimes the bots get stuck, and he was like, "Oh, you have to do this." And I'm like, "I like you." I was like, "I love you," like for like Keanu Reeves, like. And man, just when I died, like the other like the enemy characters, he was supposed to be an enemy, but he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss you." Oh well, like he was such a Doofenshmirtz character. It's really funny. Oh well, I don't know. Sometimes it gets really funny like that. Yeah. What else can I say? I feel like it was kind of scary that after like the first time I tried, I got back into it, and I remember like I was up all through the day, all through the night. I mean, writing. I was so stuck to it. I was like, it was intense. I was up all night. Yeah, I missed out on sleep. That's not good for me. So, yeah, I really got into it, but I am a smart person, and yeah, I was just so interested with everything about it to learn more and stuff like that. And I thought like, and I learned like, can I make some my own or something like that, some stuff with that. But then I realized all the effort and the energy and the moral implications and all that, and then I thought to myself, I'm not sure. What I'm thinking at the moment is something I want to explore. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. But yeah, in a way, that made me kind of understanding like a little bit more how the limitations of technology wasn't something to necessarily find scary, but very stupid. Stupidity is scary, but we can also laugh at it, you know? And I think that's a good thing. To be able to laugh at it occasionally. Yeah, and I also wrote chatbots are like Telltale, but less meaningful, but with crazier opportunities. Maybe a more open world nonsense that doesn't always feel impactful. Yeah, because I've been playing Telltale. Like, have you playing like Walking Dead or I don't know, Batman Enemy Within? You know, like these choice games where you like after a while you have to pick an answer and stuff like that. It felt less meaningful of a choice because you didn't feel like the story was leading anywhere. Like, yeah, you wanted it to lead somewhere desperately. You wanted it, but it was all kind of, I don't know. It was just this organic, crazy way, and I suppose like, you know, we're so used to the hero's journey. We're used to some hero achieving something by the end of it, you know. And here you're not really achieving something. And that's kind of interesting. Maybe that's something completely new that is gonna change how we view things in society. And maybe that's a good thing, because a lot of, you know, heroes' journey, they are very centered around like power and stuff like that. And it's a very like masculine kind of storytelling sometimes. Just like I heard like there's another story type that one can think about instead. There was like the carrier, Ursula's carrier theory. Carrier, what do you call it? I mean, if you search out carrier Ursula, I feel like you're gonna get to it. And it's really good. I'm not bad. I'm bad at explaining it, but essentially, like, it explains like how in the day there were more women who used to carry bags of stuff. They weren't like necessarily achieving things in the same way. I don't know, like that. It was always about the hunter and the kind of the hunter and the, because the hunter had to kill something and blood and stuff like that. That's much more interesting to hear and listen about than how someone was, I don't know, picking flowers or picking seeds, you know. It doesn't feel as heroic, you know. But maybe there's some way to make it very heroic. I don't believe that's impossible. But we're so used to the blood and all that kind of dramatic stuff. Yeah. So that's a lot of the thoughts that I had about janitor AI. I hope that's been somewhat interesting to listen to. I'm struggling here too, because there's so many thoughts that I had. The car passes by. But I think that's it. Yeah. My cat is sitting under the tree. He's watching a bird. Anyway, that's it. See you.